everyone, it is Paul from Lone Wolf Media, and today I will be doing a video on Gendry, because when I did the video on Stannis and Gendry returning, there's a lot more to it pertaining to Gendry, so I just wanted to cover that in a separate video, and here it is. So in my earlier video on Stannis and Gendry returning, I'll leave a link to that in the description below, I mentioned that Gendry was the future of House Baratheon. And what I meant by that is that he would be the future of House Baratheon after everything was done with the War of the Five Queens and the White Walkers and everything. So for the purposes of this video, let's assume that Stannis is dead, because both Roose and Ramsay Bolton talked about how they found Stannis' body. Before I get too much into this, I'm going to warn everyone that there are Season 7 spoilers ahead. Believe me, I didn't want to hear about these either, but these just add fuel to the fire in terms of speculation. So, if you don't want to hear about spoilers, then stop watching and pretend that I didn't say anything. I'll leave a timestamp in the description where the predictions I make have nothing to do with the spoilers. Alright, you've been warned. So, Joe Dempsey, the guy who plays Gendry, has been spotted filming in Belfast, which is one of the locations where Game of Thrones is filmed. So, that's one of my predictions confirmed. But the real big surprise here is that he was seen filming a quote-unquote pivotal scene with Davos and Tyrion. So, this means a few things. Jon and Daenerys are establishing at least diplomatic relations, since Davos is probably going to be Jon's Hand of the King, and Tyrion is already Daenerys' Hand of the Queen. And this also means that Jon and Daenerys will also be meeting. Sorry, that's another spoiler. But the fact that Gendry is with them suggests another thing. Gendry is possibly assuming the role of the head of House Baratheon. He could command loyalty from the Stormlands, since he's more Baratheon than anyone else alive. We've seen others swear off fealty to bastards, perfect example being when Jon Snow was declared king in the north, even though bastards aren't supposed to have inheritance rights. But since all three of them are meeting, this could suggest a huge plan in the works. By this I mean an all-out coordinated assault on King's Landing from 7 major houses. This is including Yara and Theon. Perhaps for the first time in Westerosia history, a siege on King's Landing will be successful. Tywin Lannister sacking King's Landing wasn't exactly a siege. So we'll have quite the battle to look forward to. Another implication of this meeting is that Jon and Daenerys could possibly be discussing marriage. Alright, so now on to the spoiler-free predictions. When Gendry returns, he's going to be the head of House Baratheon. Every Baratheon is dead except for him, and he's more of Robert Baratheon than Joffrey, Myrcella, and Tommen were. So he has a legitimate claim to not only being the head of House Baratheon, but also the Iron Throne, despite being a bastard. Another thing that I think is going to happen is that he's going to marry Arya. Now, this also depends on whatever Arya is doing, but as far as we know, she's going back to Winterfell to reunite with her family, and that's probably going to happen. But it all goes back to a specific scene back in Season 1, when Robert and Ned are talking about marrying Joffrey and Sansa. Robert says to Ned, "I have a son, you have a daughter, we'll join our houses." Now, Robert was referring to Joffrey, who he thought was his child but was really a bastard, and he was talking about Joffrey marrying Sansa. But what if this was foreshadowing Gendry marrying Arya? Arya is Ned's daughter, and Gendry is the last surviving natural-born son of Robert Baratheon. Plus, we see the affection that Gendry and Arya show for each other. For example, Arya says that she can be Gendry's family, and Gendry replies that she can. She can be his lady. Gendry's identity as Robert's bastard is more heavily emphasized in the books, when Ned notes his striking resemblance to Robert, especially when Robert was younger. He still does this in the show, but in the books it's emphasized more, so Gendry's lineage shouldn't be questioned. As the default Lord of the Stormlands, Gendry would automatically be branded as an enemy by Cersei. He'd lead the Stormlands into an already tumultuous rebellion against Cersei. Along with the Starks, Robb and Arryn, Theon and Yara, Daenerys, the Sand Snakes, and Olenna Tyrell, 7 major houses would be opposing Cersei in the War of the Five Queens. Gendry leading the Stormlands into the fray could be the final piece of the puzzle to defeating Cersei, thus preventing Daenerys' possible defeat. I also think that Gendry would be a great military commander, since both his father and uncle were great military minds. I'm excited to see what Gendry Baratheon has in store for Westeros, because he was kept around for a reason, and that's because he's the future of House Baratheon. His storyline will be very interesting throughout the next 2 seasons. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. As always, please like this video, share it, and hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching.